where we left yesterday. Yesterday we saw um, inveterate liar, uh, where it meant the habit has become so old and deeply rooted that it cannot be corrected. So today we will see congenital. So congenital means present from birth. It kind of, it can seem similar to in inveterate, but it's not similar. Inveterate means, a habit which is deep rooted, after, for so many years, because it was done for so many years, it's deep rooted. But as for congenital, it means present from birth. It's, the actual meaning is, literally it refers to a condition that exists before birth. Figuratively, it describes a quality that seems to have existed since birth. So example is a congenital liar. So congenital, comes from the root, con means together, and genesis means birth or origin. Then born together means the disease or the problem is born together with the person. Present from birth is called congenital. So word from, we are seeing two roots here. First is con, which means together, then second is genesis. So we will see some words related to genesis. First one is genesis means beginning or origin. Gene means unit of heredity, you know gene. And then we have genetics, study of heredity. Genetic related to genes, genetics, the offsprings that, that uh, the genes that offsprings get transferred from their parents are called, gene or genetic things, like eye color and all. Then we have geneticist. Scientist who studies genetics is called geneticist. Then we have genealogy, study of family history. Genealogist, one who studies family history. Genital, relating to the organs of reproduction. Then here we can see a difference between congenital versus hereditary. The word may seem similar, but they both are different. Congenital means forms during gestation, may be caused by pregnancy conditions. But here hereditary means inherited through genes, exists from the moment of conception. These both are different, and here we talk about congenital liar, you know, that something that exists from birth, not from, not transferred from parents, but it exists from birth. And then we have chronic. Chronic means occurring repeatedly over a long period of time. Like chronic disease, people say I have chronic disease, a disease which has been in their life for so many times and is not living their life, is occurring again and again. So examples are chronic liar, chronic illness. So chronic comes from the Greek chronos, which means time, and a long period repeated over time. It's the meaning. Chronic, chronicity, the state of being chronic. So chronic is a, from the root chronic, there are many English words that are linked to it, because they are linked to time. So the chronos family, words built from chronos, which means time, are chronological, arranged in time order. We say, in so many questions it is asked that, arrange the following in a chronological order, which means arrange them, in the time order, like what happened in the particular year, like 1980s, after that 1984, 1986. So it is called, being arranged in chronological order. Then we have chronology, a record or study of events in time order. These words are similar. Then we have chronologist. We have added ist here, so it becomes a specialist who studies time order. uh, it becomes, they are becoming adjective and noun. And then we have chronometer. Chronometer comes from chronos, which means time, plus metron. Metron we have already seen in so many words. Metron means measurement. A very accurate timepiece, is called chronometer. Chronometry, the measurement of time. Then we have another word which is synchronize. Synchronize comes from syn, which means together, plus chronos means time. To make things happen at the same time. Like in swimming, we are synchronizing our hands and legs, we are moving them at the same time. There are so many things where we synchronize things, we move them at the same time. It's called synchronization. Like synchronous happening at the same time. Synchronization means the act of timing things together. It's called synchronization. As I've already told you, there are many words that comes from the Greek root chronos, which means time. Then we have anachronism. So first let's see. Oh yeah. Then we have anachronism versus incongruence. So anachronism comes from the root ana. Ana means just like a, the root we have seen, a, the word a, which means against and negative word. Then ana again means against or out of. Chronos means time, so out of time, something that belongs to the wrong time period. Example, a television in a story set in the 1980 in 1800s, a person dressed exactly like someone from Shakespeare's era. The adjective is anachronistic. Like if if some of any of your friend wears a white wig that was worn in 1800s by British people, it is not used in today's time, so it is called anachronism. Like definitely you will find it different. You will know that it is not from this particular period of time, and no one is wearing that, so that's called anachronism. um, Sometimes we see some televisions which are from old times. Like today those type of televisions do not exist, but we see some old televisions that is an example of anachronism. Then we have incongruence. So incongruence means incongruence again comes from a negative root, which is in, which means not, and then con means together. So, and we also have another root that is grue, gruer, which means it's a Latin root which means to agree or correspond, not in agreement. The Latin root means to agree or correspond, but the root, here is the prefix used here is in, which means not. So not in agreement, out of place. So difference between anachronism and incongruence are: anachronism means out of time. Example, a smartphone in a medieval movie, which is out of time for that particular movie. Then we have incongruence, out of place, wearing a sweater to a formal wedding. Um, it's not a different example. We can say that wearing clothes which were worn in 19s to a wedding in 2025 or 2026. That's called incongruence, which means out of place, and anachronism means out of time. So memorative for these are: anachronism means wrong time, incongruence means wrong way match. Because we can see that congruence actually means the word half mean it. Congruence means same or matched. So this is for this video. These are the words that we have seen today. In next video we will see some more words about lying and liars, and then we will wrap it up. Today we have seen some words, but we have not actually yeah, I guess we have seen so many words, but when we will revise all of them, you will get an overall idea, a real shot of these words. If you are not understanding them right now very nicely, don't worry about it, because in the last video about lying and liars, we will revise all of them, where you will easily be able to differentiate between all of them. Yeah, that's it for this video. Bye.